After downloading the latest version of Blender and opening it on your computer, this is what you're faced with, the cube. First of all, we need to set it up by going to your preferences, and we need to look at the input for your Mac computers, and most of you will need to emulate number pad and emulate 3-button mouse. If you have a 3-button mouse, well and good. If you have a long number pad, you don't need to do it either. Okay, we're back here now. First of all, troubleshooting. These are the settings. If it's not working for you, these settings you need to just go and check. Are you in object mode or edit mode? These ones here shouldn't be highlighted, not for this project. And you need to be in solid render view, and that's that one there. If that's not highlighted, then you need to highlight it. Sometimes when you push the Z key, you might accidentally switch that one out of there into the wireframe. So there's slightly different in the edit mode, so you need to check your edit mode as well. And I'll just remove my drawings there first. Annotations, and when you're in edit mode, just make sure that you're in the pointer view for most things, or the things that you want to be in. Just check that if something's not working. Then you've got your point, edge and face select. You need to check those if things are not working. That side menu, N toggles the side menu, and once again in solid view, just in case you hit Z, the Z key on your keyboard, and accidentally bring up the menu to change your render view. There's lots and lots of keyboard shortcuts. We won't be using many in this case. You have the N key here. Sometimes you will hit it by accident, and that's what toggles the side view, the side menu on and off. And also T will toggle the toolbox. So if you lose your toolbox, just hit the T key on your keyboard. You can see there how it works. Okay, now to start the project. Check these items if you're having problems. So what we need to do now is look at the number pads. Number 1 will give you front orthographic. Number 3 will give you the side view, so right orthographic or the side view. And number 7 will give you the top view. So we'll be using these lots and lots and lots. The other numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, they just rotate in different directions. That's how you move around with the keyboard. So the next thing, we're going to go into the front view, and number 1 front view, and you've got the axes here, the X, Y and Z axis. There's the X one is the red. If you accidentally hit the X key, the delete menu will come up. The blue one is the Z axis. I then hit Z before I hit S, so that's what happened. And so just an easy mistake. SZ, scale on the Z axis, and then scale on the X axis. So top view, look down, and yours should look something like this. Okay, I'm going to go to edit mode and just point out a couple of things with the edit mode. Use the tab key for tabbing between object and edit mode. It makes it very quick and very easy. Now, all 3D drawings are made up of vertices, and these vertices are what store all the information about the object. So you can see them there. Then you can select the edge select and shift select if you want to select multiple edges or faces. The face tool Same sort of thing. If you shift select, you can select multiple faces. And that's how you make sure that you'll select everything. And A is select all. First of all, we're going to number 7, top view, and we're going to use the Control plus R. Now your cursor must be near an edge or you cannot see the line. And you must be in edit mode. If you're not in edit mode, you won't see it either, it won't work. So the first click gives you the line, and the second click lets you move it sideways. So we need to have loop edge cuts all the way on each end, and they will go all around the object, as you can see there. Now they're going to make sure that when we use the modifier, it's only the edges that get modified. You can move it around, have a bit of a look at what you're doing. The next step is to go to the modifier, and that's the spanner. We're going to add a subdivision surface modifier. This is a very common one. You'll use it lots and lots. And you'll notice here how it's changed the shape. We're in edit mode. We can give more cuts by upping the levels for the viewport, but don't go above 3. Your computers will stall because there will be too many vertices. 2 is a good number for this project, and the 3D printers will be okay with that. I'm going to go to object mode now, and we're going to apply the modifier. So just click apply. Now those changes the modifier did are part of the mesh. We're back to edit mode, and you can see how much mesh we've added by the rectangles here. We're looking down on top and on the face view, and we're going to select some of the faces, and then we're going to go X and delete. We want a hole through our X faces delete. Okay, so we're now going to do the same thing, move it around. You can see now that we've selected the top face. Now we need to number 7 again, top view, select the far faces, equivalent, the same, and then delete those. Now we're going to select the edge mode, edge select tool, and we're going to select the edges of the hole, and we shift click, but make sure your first selection is never shift. Click, then shift click. That way you'll only get what you want to select. You won't get something else that you've accidentally selected. Work around the hole until you've got click, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click. First one, don't have shift down. You have gone right round. The F key inserts the face, and there we put it back together. The next step is to add, oh, that was a mistake there where I hit the X key by accident. Now we're going to go to the object menu, object mode, and then we're going to go to the add, and we're going to add text. I lost it there a bit. It's going up there. Here we go. Add text. You can see the word text there, and it's at the moment it's inside of our block. So we're going to just GZ that and slide it up. GZ, slide it on the Z axis. Now we're going to edit that, so we need to be in edit mode to change the text, but to change the form of the words we stay in object mode. Okay, back to object mode, and now we'll go to the text menu, and we'll select geometry and extrude. We extrude it to give it some depth. Now we can go to font and select our font, and we can change to whatever font we want. It brings up a menu, you may have to download some font to your desktop from the internet to find a font that you like. You may know which font you like, you may not. Now I've selected an italic font there, and I'm not particularly happy with, I don't like italics very much. So I am going back in and I'm going to select a bold, just a simple bold font. You can select whatever you like. It's Blender seems to be working very well with different fonts at the moment. We're going to scale it, S for scale, and we're going to make it bigger, and G for grab. We're going to move it and position it over the top. Now we're going to go 1 for the front view, and then we're too tall now, so we're going to scale on the Z axis and just bring it down a little bit. G and Z to bring it down onto the plastic. It must go into the plastic a little bit. So when you're happy with it and you think it's going to look all right, then we will select the text and we'll go to, we're going to right click, 2-finger tap to bring up the context menu. Make sure your text is selected when you do this. It's going to happen in just a moment. 2-finger click, there it is, and convert to mesh. Now this is important because we can't join text and the base together if it's not mesh. Now we're going to, you can see where the icons have changed there. Now we're going to go to edit mode, select all, A, and then we're going to go mesh, and we're going to tidy our mesh up, clean up, merge by distance. Now you can see here it's actually dissolved about 560 vertices. So we now need to go back out to object mode. We've got the everything's ready to join the two objects together. I'm going to go tab and object. Now I'm going to select the base of the larger part, and then go to modifiers, and the modifier we're using is Boolean, a Boolean modifier. Now we've selected the base, so the Boolean goes on the base, but we need a cutter or a object to work with, and this is the text, and that name there of course is the same up in the layer menu. Now we want to union, which means we join them together. Now we're going to go back out to object mode. Oh, so we are in object mode, and we're going to apply. So now you can see the extra lines there, the funny shading, and we're just going to remove that because it doesn't destroy your original. So now we've moved it away, we can go X on the object and delete it. So we delete that extra text there. Now we have the object that we're going to put into the 3D printer. But when you're working in work like this, you can change the colours if you want to. Some colours are better for people to work with. Don't forget to add the cavity, and that means that you can see the shape a little bit better of the text. You can change to any colour you like. Everybody is different. I tend to use this one a little bit. Colours are very personal, and you just select what you like. But we only have the one colour plastic, so it doesn't affect. We're going to preference now, and we're going to add the add-on for the print toolbox. Now, if you just type the word print into the search bar, it will bring up Mesh 3D Print Toolbox. And this is going to check your object, tick the box. This is going to check your object to make sure that everything is appropriate for the printer. And we're going to use N to bring up the menu. And because we've added the 3D Print Toolbox, we select our object first. That will bring up the 3D Print menu. Now check all. You can go into more detail with this, but this is more than enough. And that's a good set of numbers. We clean up, make it manifold, which it fixes a few little things and makes it so that it works in the printer. Now, when you export, those two little forward slashes mean it's going to put the file next to your original. But if you have not saved, an error will come up. So you must save your work. I should have saved it well before this, but if you get to this stage and you haven't saved, you must save before you can create the STL file. STL is the type of file that's going to go into the 3D printer. It's a pretty universal file. It's used in 3D modeling a lot, and that's one that most 3D printers will use. I've just saved my file into this folder here, keyfob. The next thing is to now go back, make sure you've selected the STL and export. And the two little forward slashes there, they're the code to put it into the folder. So here we go, STL, that is the file you need, and you need to put that onto a flash drive and take it to the library, and we'll print it off.